I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look, as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
This is your fault! This is your fault! Every last one! This is your fault! It is their fault! This is your fault! This is your fault! I got you. Easy. Thank you, sir. Your fault! This is your fault!
The rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know. But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police are like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes?
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes?
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it.
If you can hear us, if you are with us, please, John Wilkes Booth, if you're listening, please.
Let me get this straight, dumbass! You have a fully reloaded shotgun, but you chose to use a 1-bullet.
We're not even sending our best to fucking assassinate. Cause what the hell was that? Lee Harvey Oswald would never, bitch. John Wilkes Booth would never.
Today was like this close to being the best day ever.
Also, the person that at Trump at his rally was exercising that right that all of those Republicans were fighting for. So, can you really blame him?
Shot at Trump, you was a lame ass bitch, cause how the fuck did you shoot and miss? No, bitch, if you have a mission, make sure you hit that target the fuck right. Bitch, you ain't practiced before you get your ass over there? Huh? You was nervous? Your hand was shaking?
You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew, and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed! There was a white man attached to that trigger. I know it! We were a centimeter away! Ah!
It was more staged than a Tyler Perry production of Medea Runs for President. I lived in Harlem long enough to know that gunshots do not sound like making popcorn on the stove. Pop, pop, pop. Where'd the blood come from? So in theater, in movies, they have what's called blood pellets. They even, people use them in Halloween. It's basically like a pellet of fake blood that's in your mouth, and when you crush it, the blood comes out. To be frank, Small Hands Trump would not respond by raising his fist in the air triumphantly were an actual attempt made on his life. This was, I believe, done to try to show his strength counter to Biden's fragility. Oh my God. Molly, you in danger, girl.
Can I just say flat out that she looks like a worn out hag?
Yeah, she had so much mileage her warranty expired.
Let's let her speak, and then we'll get to the show. While she's trying to show off her nipples and her raggedy hair, you can tell that this is a broke chick now. I mean, she can't even get her hair done.
Apparently 2 people are dead, including the shooter.
But you were making fun, though, right?
They shot him in the ear.
Because he turned his head, luckily.
But a sniper could do that.
That's who shot at him. A sniper who just missed his head by the.
And it's real easy to just say, like,
what? Say
2
what?
people are dead.
What's up, Jibba Jabba, AB Media, Snowman, Simeon?
So we all agree it was staged?
No, we don't agree. We know it. Stop. Let's stop right there. Let's get this out the way because I really want to address her point. So, okay, let's handle the smooth brain question. All right, Lewis, where you at? Put your hand.
Wait. I thought. All right. Hold on.
Where you at? What you doing? We live. Put your hand on. There you go.
Yeah. Fuck MAGA. Fuck MAGA. We're N4T. Niggas for Trump. All right? Niggas for Trump. N4T. Put it in the chat.
So here's my question for the smooth brain blacks. Would you allow seven shots fired at you from a 22 caliber rifle, or just 7 shots fired at you even from a BB gun? Would you let somebody shoot at you 7 times for a staged event?
Hell no.
So if there was any staging, who would you say did the staging?
If anybody did the staging, it would have been the police or the Secret Service.
It would have been the Secret Service, because the last time, okay, what's up, BGS? So let's be honest. Not the last time a president was almost assassinated, which was Ronald Reagan, which some dumbass, excuse me, try not to curse, this is not the curse show. Some smooth brain said they actually thought that Ronald Reagan got shot at indoors.
Reagan?
Yeah, they said he was shot indoors. No, Ronald Reagan was shot outside.
And they pushed him in his limousine. I remember that. Watching that all the time off of PBS.
Who was the shooter?
I forgot his name. The white
Hinckley
boy.
Jr.
All right.
John Hinckley Jr.
And the Secret Service guy got shot in the head and he got paralyzed.
Right. So the thing about it was John Hinckley Jr. shot Ronald Reagan. He was unhinged. He wanted to stick his wee-wee in Jodie Foster, and he figured that he would bring her back to the straight side and get some cookie by shooting Ronald Reagan, not knowing that she likes tacos. Yeah, he was going to his car. But the most successful presidential assassination came via John F. Kennedy. Now, I don't know if this is online. I did not look. But I remember, I believe it was Jordan Maxwell came to our store back in the 90s. And he brought us the tape. The whole tape of what happened with John F. Kennedy when he got shot. When John F. Kennedy got shot, before his motorcade, when they left the airport, do you know what happened? The way the car was designed, you had 2 Secret Service agents in the front, 2 in the back. They had special bumpers, special
platforms.
Yeah, so the Secret Service could be on the back bumper and on the front.
Wait a minute, didn't it have platforms on the side like suicide doors? Like the platform where you're outside of the car, but you're on the platform outside by.
Yes. 2 in the front, 2 in the back. The 2 in the back. Now there was a car in the back that had the head of security, the Secret Service, in the back. He waved the 2 guys off the back of the car. The 2 Secret Service agents, when they left the airport, waved them off the back of the car. So the car drove off, and you saw 1 Secret Service agent. He was vehemently, what's going on, Art? He was going like this. As the car drove off, don't forget the 4 hobos driving like, what the hell? Like, where's the security detail? He said, don't show nobody this tape. Don't show nobody this tape. Keep in mind, this is in the 90s, in the mid-90s. They like 94, 95, we brought him in. He said, don't show nobody
Jordan
this tape.
Maxwell was deep with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he was like, don't show nobody this tape. It'd be your life.
I got a ton of his DVDs.
So here now you have, as you heard the guy said, we saw the guy crawling on the roof, guerrilla style, with a rifle. We told the Secret Service, hey, he's up there. And like he said, they said, oh, what? Who? What? Who? They goofy. They Keystone copping out there in Pennsylvania. And then 7 shots ring out. Trump, I swear, man, ooh, I mean, I'm an atheist, but I'll say the expression, by the grace of God, he just happened to go like this. He just happened to turn his head. And the first thing he did was grab his ear. And as much as people are saying that, because they caught the bullet trail on camera, they got the picture.
Yeah, they got a still shot.
That's a smoke. That's from an airplane. Like, man, shut the. Secret Service slow to react.
But what was funny also, they got the video, you know, after all the men jumped on them, then you got the 2 fat pear-shaped broads that came in afterwards.
Why? Keep in mind, Trump had been asking for more Secret Service detail for months, which was denied, ignored, denied. This guy is over 6 feet tall. You got 2'5", fat chicks.
But you want to know? You want to know? So funny. I was listening to Angela Yee talking with Roland Martin about this situation.
What did she say?
And well, it was Roland Martin that was talking about that former presidents don't get the protection that the current president.
He's running for office.
That's a fucking lie, because because when 41 was still alive, he had top-notch security, and when he was alive, he was known as the only one that exercised his right every day to get the same exact security briefing that the current president gets.
Yeah, because he knew he was running again. But, you know, he was denied. And now this happens. Why you got 2'5", fat chicks trying to cover a 6 foot plus former president running for office again? I mean, you saw how bumbling they were when they were trying to get him into the limo. One chick is worried about her glasses. The other one can't even holster her gun. When really, why are you holstering your gun? They just took a shot at the president, the former president. Your gun needs to be in your hand. You need to be sharp as a tack. You and the other Tweedledum, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. You need to be on alert.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Charles Faulkner, if you're listening, get Black Lion Security to get his contract out there to protect Trump. They did a better job than those 2 pear-shaped broads out there. I know it for a fact.
You say, is anyone?
Charles, put your bid out there.
All right. He says, is anyone talking DEI in those female agents? I mean, they're ducking under. They were ducking under Trump. Oh, we're gonna get to that. You say, Roland, that's BS. I still remember Secret Service on top of the roof when Obama ran the first time. Roland is lying his A off. I haven't even seen Roland Martin, because what he has to say is unimportant to me. Let's finish with her so we can get this going, okay? But my thing is, if anything was a setup, Trump was not in on it. The 2 people who were killed were not in on it. The 2 people who were injured were not in on it. The shooter was not in on it. See what this washed up hag has to say. Excuse me, I don't mean to talk like that. Let's see what she has to say. This
Eargate is nuts.
Fired actress.
I don't think he got hit by a bullet.
You don't think he got hit? Okay. What do you think he got hit by?
I don't think so either.
You think he put a ketchup packet on his ear?
Okay, so we all agree it was staged.
By who, though?
Okay.
You agree that it was staged, but it was staged by who, though? You think Trump was in on being shot at?
Because the pause and the fist bump. First of all, this ain't this.
What fist
yes,
bump?
Odessa. This ain't a man. This ain't a man who would get shot and be like, yeah, like he would crumble. He would crumble. So we're in a Tubi film.
Quick, does Trump come off like a pussy? I'm sorry. Does Trump come off like a coward?
No, he's from New York. He's braggadocious. He studied the art of performance, and he knows how to take advantage of every good moment out there. and he saw that as a defining moment. That's why he said, "Wait," and he put his fist in the air, fight. So,
quick question: if you took, this is for the chat. Go ahead, post your answers because I will of course post it on the screen. Does Trump come off like a guy, even though he's what is he, 81? If you
78.
If you took a swing at Trump, do he look like he was? Or do he look like he would probably?
He's 6'2" and like 250 or more.
Does it look like he would cower, or does it look like he would probably come at you?
And even Cenk Uygur, which I have to give him credit for, even he 78. He admitted, he was like, yo, I criticized him so many times, calling him a coward so many times, but he showed a lot of strength and power. And he compared it to the feebleness of Joe Biden. So
Joe Biden would crumple. He looked like he would crap himself. Maybe Trump did. I mean, you almost get shot.
No, I disagree. I think Joe Biden wouldn't even know what was going on around him, and they have an easy shot to shoot him in the head. So, and service, don't come after me. I'm just saying, he don't got the cognitive ability to realize what's going on in his surroundings. So he'll probably turn his head by accident because he's probably looking at the audience waving at him. That's how he'll probably miss the fucking bullet. But
this is Joe Biden. Somebody popping up popcorn?
Yeah. Oh, I'm having popcorn with my applesauce?
Get down, you moron! Get down, Grandpa!
And when the Secret Service, and when the Secret Service jumps on top of him, they'll break all his bones because that's how fragile he is. So,
oh my God, he probably died from the protection. Let's get back into this idiot girl. Let me get
like Odessa Kelly just said. I also know what gunshots sound like. That's not what gunshots sound like.
That's not what gunshots sound like. Please tell me, you ghetto hood rat, what does gunshot sound like? Lewis, you're military, right?
Yeah, and I'm from the hood of Newark.
Is that what gunshots sound like?
I know what bullets sound like, and that was
Does
bullets.
that sound like gunshot? Okay, I just want to know. I mean, I'm from the east side of Cleveland. I grew up during the crack era. I think I know what gunshots sound like.
What's up, Chaos Rain?
Chaos Rain? Oh, we got Chaos Rain in the house. Okay.
And I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well.
You certainly ain't. You haven't felt well since you were born.
And with them saggy titties.
No, Mo Harris,
challenged.
we're not calling it staged because someone missed a shot. Don't come in here being a jackass.
But you're a jackass. You're a perpetual jackass. You've been a jackass.
Also, I don't know if y'all caught this, but Elon Musk has officially endorsed Donald Trump.
And he's always endorsed Donald Trump. What's your point? What's your point? What's your point?
And if you get shot, I mean, I've never been shot, but I feel like it's fair to say that even if you get grazed, you don't just go.
I've never been shot, but if you get grazed, you just don't go. You've never been shot, you moron. You've never been shot. I'm trying to get that. Look, okay. I don't want to get into the hyperbole of this whole situation. But I can't help myself because this is what happens. Okay. Everybody that I've played that have been talking about him after he got shot, these are smooth brains and then educated dummies. Yes, Silk Diggy, this is Amanda Seals. Amanda Seals is an educated dummy. Just because you know the circumference of a pyramid and you read a book doesn't mean that you're intelligent. It just means that you're educated. But when you try to put your education with your intelligence, This is what you get. You get an Amanda Seals. You get an Umar Johnson. You get an educated dummy who can.
But I could say this, like,
Go
when
ahead.
you can see the total bias in her rhetoric, because what's up, Mr. Z? If this was Joe Biden, and God forbid something ever happens to him, the only thing that should happen to him is natural causes. That's it. Like any human being. But she'll be up here crying. This is just her bias towards Donald Trump. That's all this bullshit is.
You just go.
Yeah, call him by surprise, you educated dummy. If all of a sudden, if I
So we all
you will
agree
touch it.
that this was some bullshit. And we all agree that those were not actual gunshots.
Then what was it?
And
What was it that killed two
we all
people
agree
and wounded two others? What was it?
that
Wait. Well, you know, she's the queen of Black America. Let her tell it. She's the smartest person in the room. She's an educated dummy. Yes, we can. Let her finish. She almost done.
the slap was realer than this. And the slap really did happen. Y'all
Oh,
was
the
definitely
slap
trying to say that was
the slap-
staged. That was
Really?
like,
How
oh,
many
no,
people
I know
died
that
from
was
Will
real.
Smith slapping Chris Rock?
But in the same vein, I know these niggas, and this don't feel real because they don't do shit like that.
Oh,
they don't do real.
Look, anybody
Their whole
know?
shit is fake.
Hey, put on pause for a minute.
Go ahead.
Trump was going on his rant, roasting people, doing what he does best, and he got surprised by the sound of the bullet. And anybody know about shooting? You're gonna hear the impact first, then you're gonna hear the sound because it goes like the speed of sound. So I mean, come on, like this dumb broad don't know shit. And pardon my French.
She is a goof troop. She's an educated dummy. She's almost
what
done.
she needs to do instead of making TikTok videos, she need to clean up her edges. But
but you know, well, when you haven't worked in almost a year, you know, when you haven't worked in almost a year, you got to get your cousin to do your braids. You know, you can't get that goofy little teenage girl swirler stuff on your big forehead. Yeah, he was in shock because he was talking. He just happened to turn his head, and then pow before the Secret Service jumped on him. Yeah, she looking bad. She ain't had a job in a year. Don't nobody want to hire her. And knowing
he was in the middle of his roast session.
When you look at a chick like Amanda Seals, when you think about what type of chick she is, she looks like the chick that lives paycheck to paycheck almost. You know what I'm saying? Just like Taraji P. Henson. You got this 1.2 or 1.2 million dollar house, and you get $10 million a year per movie or whatnot. Or $10 million per movie. You only do a movie a year. You're on a goofy TV show that's now been canceled because nobody watched it. And Jussie Smollett just I mean, he did wonders for your ratings with his I was attacked by a bad guy. You know, I mean, he just did wonders for your ratings. I mean, it got so bad that you actually had Precious doing a sex scene, you know, for shock value. That's how bad your ratings were. You had Precious in a sex scene. That's how bad your ratings were. To the point where then the show got canceled. Nobody in the cast party wanted you around. You literally got pushed. You got kicked out of the party, drugged out of the party, the cast party, by security. Yeah, your edges is gonna look like that. You're gonna look bad.
And her eyebrows is getting bushy too. So you know that hair been in for a while. So she can't even upkeep her hair. So, but I digress.
You said it. She almost. Let's finish her.
Shit. So, okay. I just wanted to hop on to see if the family was all on the same page.
We're not.
Yeah. Okay, so we all on the same page. So I'm gonna post my thoughts about it, and y'all can share it if you want or not. I don't care. But I just wanted to. Okay. And then we will talk about this tomorrow night on the Small Doses podcast bonus. You got to be a member of Patreon to be on that. But we'll talk further about this, and we'll have questions and all the things. So we're all on the same page. Thank you, She's Cute 24. We all agree. Real Reginald Evans. We all agree. While I have you, tickets for my tour, tickets to my New York show and my LA show go on sale next week.
Anyway, ain't nobody going to no damn.
Anybody, please donate $1 to her Patreon so she can get her edges fixed.
Her edges and eyebrows.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So that was the educated, dummy, smooth brain crowd who think that Trump volunteered to be shot at 7 times by Thomas Matthew Crooks, the psychotic white boy. And let me tell you something. This is what really bothers me. Before I get into this,
you're like you got cleft lip.
Oh, cleft lip. Who knows what she does? She's not a comedian. I've never. I have to be honest. I've never watched anything Amanda Seales has been in, so I don't even know if she has talent. I mean, I'm familiar with her bio. She's done a lot of things since she was a child. You know, her mother pimped her out to Hollywood, you know, in order to pay the bills, you know, and traded in her body. She was, you know, hustling her taco with some white man. And Amanda Seales talked about how she was going horseback riding and canoeing and all of this stuff ever since her mama started selling herself to this white man, because the acting career wasn't really making them some money. Because do understand that just because you take a job in Hollywood doesn't mean that you're suddenly a multi-millionaire.
Hey, if you need one, it's $8. $8. I brought this off for a brother that was selling them in front of my store, so I had to get it. I'm always supporting the hustle. You know, got the hair and everything.
What's up, Trust? Cortez Smith. So, you know, you don't really make any money. I mean, clearly. At any rate, you had a black guy talking about what did he say? He said something so stupid. He said that they were so glad that the shooter was white. Everybody was hoping that the shooter was white. It was like, of course the shooter was white.
The moist dude.
I don't know who this guy was, but he was. Everybody was hoping that the shooter was white. No, we weren't. I'm sorry. Were you hoping that the shooter was white, or did you know that the shooter was white? I'm asking you.
First of all, most people ain't gonna go into a large crowd of fanatical white people unless they come to their neighborhood. I mean, let's be for real. Like, we're smart enough not to go where we don't belong. So let's be for real about that.
In Pennsylvania, at that.
Yeah, in the middle. That's Alabama. The only black spots is Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and you got some up in Scranton. The rest is fucking Alabama. So let's be for real. Because I go up there, I be going up to PA to go paintballing and everything. So, and going up to the gun ranges.
So he was saying, well, if a white guy does something like this, then they blame the white guy. But if a black guy does something, then all black people are guilty. And I had to respond back and say, yeah, you're right. The police just left my house about a black guy that was jaywalking in Montana, and they questioned me for it. Like, dude, stop talking stupid. This is not 1982. It's 2024. Everybody is responsible for their own actions now. But because you don't speak out against it, then the whole crew looks bad. This is why when something like this, the first thing white people do, they do not make pity parties for people like this, depending on what side of the aisle you on. Now, as you can see, he said I was born in 82. So, I mean, but as you can see, you have some left-wing smooth brains, you know, hoping that he didn't miss and everything. But as far as the political pundits, they have now backed off on calling for violence against Trump and saying that this is wrong and blase, blase, blah. Yeah, because let's be honest, these people, they sit around at dinner parties and whatnot with each other. They go to sex parties with each other and everything. You think Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are enemies? Come on. They got pictures together, hugging up with each other and whatnot. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
because Trump are peers.
First of all, Trump was a Democrat, registered Democrat back in the day. And this is the thing. White people, for the most part, understand politics. And when I talk to my friends, I'm like, this is how you equate politics, the politicians. It's fucking WWE wrestling on TV. You see the good guy, which is the face, and the bad guy, the heel. They fight each other on TV, but they're friends backstage. We're the only ones that don't understand that. It's theater for TV to get the sides riled up and to vote for them. It's two ways on the same bird.
But AB, remember, Trump is a white supremacist. He's racist.
and what's funny, and when he ran the first time, a bunch of rappers came up saying, hey, when I got my record deal, I used my money. I paid Trump, and Trump sat down and taught me everything about the system, how to make more money.
Sorry, that's the dryer, if y'all heard that. Yep, it's a big club, and we aren't in it. Like, it's just like a prosecutor and a defense attorney. They sit up there and argue in court, and then after 5 o'clock, they go around the corner to the local pub and sit down and have drinks together and talk about how they're going to handle your case. What type of plea deal are you going to get? And the defense attorney like, yeah, I know the scumbag did it, but you know, let's hammer something out. Give them 3 to 5. Just like the big story on my TikTok, the one black chick who's a career criminal. She's a career thief down in Florida. They offered this chick 3 years for stealing, I think, a $9,000 ring. She stole a $9,000 ring out of a jewelry store. They offered her 3 years. This idiot decided to take it to trial. She lost. Guess how much time she got?
45?
30.
That was close.
And people are acting, yeah, but people are acting like, oh, she got too much time. Like, did you not hear the first 10 seconds of the story?
Yeah, you get 3 years and you probably end up doing 18 months maybe.
Yeah.
Plus
and
time
then
served.
Yep, back on those streets.
Or you probably get a year and like 5 years, 6 years probation.
But you know, this is why I say they're not like us. Like, yo, no, I'm right. They not like us. They're not like us. These are smooth brain people. Has nothing to do. The one thing that I seriously got tired of is the color argument. It's now about intelligence and class. I don't cape for criminals. I don't care what color they are. And we as black people need to get over that. We need to get over caping for color. We have to get over caping for color. It's not doing us any good. White folks do it. So what? You're not white. Why are you holding yourself to their standard? You sound like you sound. That's the real coon. When you use white people as an excuse for your bad behavior, you're the coon. Just so you know. Say yes, always. Get the oldest whitest attorney because he knows all the judges. They attend the same Lions Club or fraternity, etc. Exactly. Babe, black people don't have the luxury of individuality. We're not a monolith, but what other black person eats does make me poop. What? But what another black person eats does make me. No, it doesn't make me poop. It doesn't make me poop. The guy out here stealing cars does not affect me because I'm not out here stealing cars. Remember when what was his name? Geraldo Rivera, when he was talking about hoodies. What's up, Detroit 313? Remember he was talking about black people wearing hoodies. He said, hey, don't wear the hoodie. You know, with the hoodie over your head and all this stuff, don't wear the hoodie. Black people they were in an uproar. They were in a big uproar. They didn't, and now look at the majority of what the criminals wear, especially in San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Baltimore, here in Atlanta, San Francisco, LA, Oakland. What do they wear? What do they wear when they're committing these crimes in gangs? What are they wearing? Hoodies pulled up over their faces. We say PG County, yeah, Pittsburgh, yeah, they're wearing hoodies pulled up over their faces. Hoodies and skinny jeans with Glocks.
And the masks.
Yeah, and masks. A big uproar, but yeah, no. Why are you wearing a hoodie in the summer anyway? Why are you wearing a hoodie in the summer anyway? You dressed in all black. Because what? Most kids today don't know who the hell NWA is. So no, you're not trying to wear the NWA style. And if you still trying to wear the NWA style from a rap group from the late 80s, you're an idiot. You are out of touch. Grow up. You are literally wearing the uniform of a criminal, depending on where he's from. Like where you have to be, from to wear a hoodie in 95-degree heat. With the hood over your face, with a mask around your neck. In a gang of other people with three of your friends.
Yeah, and that was the standard uniform for Antifa and a lot of the anarchists that be running amok in New York City.
Now they wear body armor. Antifa now wears body armor. Did you notice that? They now wear black military garb.
Well, they learned their lesson from Charlottesville when they were clashing with the tiki torches.
Yeah. What do you say? Color supersedes class and intelligent. You understand? I'm not talking about the whole of black people. I'm talking about the criminal element. The criminal element has a uniform. The hoodie is now part of the criminal uniform. You walk into a store nowadays in hot weather, wearing a hoodie, looking suspicious. Yes, they're going to follow you around in the store. Unfortunately, now they can't even follow you around. They let you steal. I mean, what was the video? The guy was, I think it was a CVS. They locked everything down. The guy was literally in there with a blowtorch and pliers, ripping the plastic security thing off, breaking the lock, and the employees just had to stand there and watch. They couldn't do anything because if they did anything, they would get fired. And the dude finally broke all the locks open. He had a trash bag. He was pushing the stuff in the trash with his hoodie on in the summer, pushing the merchandise in the trash bag, the black trash bag, slumped it over his shoulder and walked out.
Like it was Santa Claus.
Exactly. I mean, it was Christmas for him and Christmas in July. What are you arguing? What'd you say? Then you were saying that what an individual black person does and wears does have a negative stereotype and affects the view of all black people. No, I'm saying don't wear the uniform of a criminal, and you won't have any problems. Nobody follows me around in the store. If you have control over your children, you say you saw that in Philadelphia, right? I'm not joking. If you have control over your children and you know, hey, look, you in tune with what's going on, be like, hey, yo, where you going in that hoodie? It's summer. Where you going in a hoodie? It's summer. Boy, if you don't put a t-shirt on, what the hell wrong with you? You look like you up to no good. But we're under this guise that we can wear whatever we want to wear. Never mind that we people sit up here and make video after video after video after video after video about what women wear out here in these streets. But, when it comes to your sons, you don't give a damn. Is that what we're saying? You say, what crooks with a benzomatic torch in CVS? Yeah, the dude was in there with a blowtorch. He was in there with a blowtorch and pliers. You say hoodie slander is responsibility politics. Who decided that hoodies is the uniform of a criminal? The criminals decided that was the uniform of the criminals. You don't see men out here in 3-piece suits and button downs taking blowtorches to locks. You don't see them out here jumping behind the counters of gas stations, stealing Black and Milds by the handful.
Hey, chill out.
I know.
You got
did you steal them with your hoodie on, or did you go in there with your dress clothes on and hop behind the counter and take them?
But I did have my black Air Force Ones on.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my black Air Force Ones on. All right.
Right. Well, let's get to this. We're getting out of control now. But the whole thing is that as a black person, you are not responsible for what other black people do. But as a black person, you also have to be cognizant of what the lower class, the criminal class, is doing. I understand that as black people, for some reason, we have this idea in our head that ghetto culture is black culture and ghetto culture is cool. We fit in or whatnot. But no. Fitting in with ghetto culture, no. Because they have a plan for the poor, be they black, white, green, yellow, Hispanic, whatever. They have a plan for these people.
It's a uniform for everything.
Right.
It's like this. You have a white t-shirt, basketball shorts, black ankle socks, and black Nike sliders. What is that? That's a uniform for the hood during the summer.
You know what?
And if you're going out, you throw on your Jordan sliders. But if you got the money, you have your Gucci sliders on. But that's how it is here in Jersey. But I digress. It's a uniform for everything.
Maybe it's because I watch too much news videos instead of sexual politics videos. I'm actually paying attention to what I'm seeing in these stories and these body cam videos or whatnot and everything. Maybe I'm paying too much attention to those. Maybe I should just lay off of those and worry about things that don't matter. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's get to the shooter. So, who is Thomas Matthew Crooks? All right. So, we're going to skip all of this because this is just, filler. But let's get into this. Thomas Crooks had not been carrying ID, so investigators used DNA and facial recognition technology to identify him, the FBI said. He was from Bethel Park in Pennsylvania, about 70 kilometers, 43 miles, from the site of the attempted assassination, and graduated in 2022 from Bethel Park High School with a $500 prize for mathematics and science, according to a local newspaper. Crooks worked in a local nursing home kitchen just a short drive away from his home, where staff members have said that he passed a background check and raised no concerns. In other words, he, made sandwiches and put an apple and apple sauce jug on a tray for old folks.
And he probably pushed the cart to the rooms, hand out the trays.
Exactly. Exactly. The Community College of Allegheny, or CCAC, has confirmed that Crooks attended the school between September 21 and May of 24. He graduated with an associate degree in engineering science. Okay, so he was a little smart. Had a little smarts to him. In a statement sent to the BBC, that would be the media, not, the things that you shouldn't be watching in the living room. The college noted that he graduated with high honors and that a review of his records turned up no disciplinary, student conduct, or security-related incidents. State voter records show that he was a registered Republican, according to U.S. media, which means nothing. He also donated $15 to liberal campaign group Act Blue in 21, according to an election donation filing and news reports. So when did he register to be a Republican?
But go back to his picture. And he said he was constantly bullied in school. Report. So he's a dork, a lame, probably an incel, most likely, angry at life because he got bullied. And this is probably a situation of now the rabbit got the gun. And he wanted to be, this was going to make him immortalized. And what he got it, he got his infamy.
Yes, he did. He had a membership at a local shooting club, the Clareton Sportsman's Club, for at least a year. The club confirmed to the BBC. And it's funny because you had the sheriff down in Florida saying, hey, get your ass to the range. Even I've said that. Take your ass to the range. In my videos from years ago when I was in Columbus, I had videos of me at the range. Learn to shoot. I can pop you with a 9mm from 50 yards away, dead center, because I went to the range. The Vast Club is based south of Pittsburgh and is one of the premier shooting facilities in the tri-state area of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. It has more than 2,000 members. I used to go to Vance. Well, Vance was in Ohio. All right, that was down the street. It has multiple gun ranges, including a high-power rifle facility with targets up to 171 meters away. The club's owner, Bill Saletto, told the BBC that the shooting was a terrible, terrible thing. Well, of course. Access to the club is tightly controlled, with only members allowed inside the sprawling facility. Obviously, the club fully admonishes the senseless act of violence. Attorney Robert S. Boutte III, who represents the organization, told the BBC. Spell organization wrong, okay. Law enforcement officials believe the weapon used to shoot at Donald Trump, an AR-style rifle, was purchased by Crook's father, according to investigators. Uh-oh. That means his whole family is under scrutiny now. The FBI is just combing through all their stuff.
They probably took every computer out of the house, got taps on. They probably got a warrant for every electronic device that could communicate, and they're going through with a fine-tooth comb.
Dad's little porn collection has been seized.
They probably gonna find tranny porn on the kid's computer.
That's all the tranny porn, chunky asses, videos of Nicki Minaj twerking. Hand it back to him like this.
Nasty ass you.
Right. It is unclear how the weapon came into his son's hands, although there is no suggestion the father had any inkling of what was to take place. Speaking on condition of anonymity, 2 officers told AP that Crook's father bought the weapon at least 6 months ago. Oh, so he's been a good 6 months training with that. Authorities also say that Crooks purchased a box of ammunition containing 50 rounds on the day of the rally, reported CBS, the BBC's U.S. newspaper. He only got off, 7?
Some say 11. So
Yeah, still a waste of. It was a waste of money, but hey.
All we could say, thank God he only had 6 months of training.
According to U.S. media reports, Crooks was wearing a T-shirt from Demolition Ranch, a YouTube channel known for its guns and demolition content. Yes, he was, because I watched that channel, and dude did a video saying he was wearing my T-shirt.
And that channel has like 11 million subscribers.
Yeah.
And you know, Secret Service and FBI is over at the channel's home. Probably
go ahead.
Combing through. Probably went to YouTube, combing through the servers, looking through all his social media, looking at what other channels that's going to come out soon, what other channels this person frequent. Well, thank God they can't say he was at the Black Manosphere. It'll probably be on some right-wing sites or whatever. So
yeah, I think Tariq is tired of the FBI knocking on the door.
Yeah. All right. Hey, boys, Tariq, Professor
Williams.
Y'all don't got to worry about this one.
Mexican.
They ain't coming over.
Oh, y'all still talking about they still talking about the
uniform.
Yeah. Yeah, we shouldn't be watching anything turn BBC in the living room unless everybody is asleep and you got headphones.
Chinese historian gonna be talking about this one. Shout out to him.
But this channel right here, the channel that they're talking about, Demolition Ranch, I watched their because you know I like the home construction stuff. All right, so they bought a freak. What am I talking about? They bought a resort, a rundown resort in Texas, and I was watching it. It was like they got like a 2-hour video of them trying to restore it, although most of the video is not them restoring it, just them going through but you see them shooting up stuff and everything and blowing up the dirt and everything. So yeah, that's a cool little channel if you're into the manly stuff. Say the channel has millions of subscribers featuring videos on different guns and explosive devices. Well, I watched their reconstruction videos. Anyway, the day after the shooting, law enforcement sources also told CBS that suspicious devices were found in Crook's vehicle, which, I posted that and people was like, oh, that's fake news. Oh, the Wall Street Journal was fake news. Like, man, go. Oh, my God. Anyway. According to CBS, the suspect had a piece of commercially available equipment that appeared capable of initiating the devices. Oh, kid. You one-man army this. This is why you lost. Thank God. Bomb technicians were called to the scene to secure and investigate the devices. What was his motivation? Having established Crook's identity, police and agencies are investigating his motive. So far, they have been unable to identify one. Okay, before I even go any further, good and goddamn well he left behind a manifesto. The trans shooter.
He probably had a journal.
Of course. The trans shooter left behind a manifesto in which they haven't released. Was it Stephen Crowder got 3 pages, and of course, Elliot Rogers is the poster boy of mass shooters, white mass shooters, because it seems like whenever they release the manifesto, it's 3 things that they're concerned about. Black men sleeping with white women, their inability to sleep with the white women of their choice, and feeling ostracized from society because they grew up, these little white boys grow up being lied to, thinking that Batman, Superman, Aquaman, the Flash, and all of them is real, and this is their life, and their mothers have never told them no. And then they hit the high school, they get puberty, and their little wee-wees get hard, and the chicks that they see as the most sexually desirable, they cannot get them. They're all over the little black athletes that happen to attend these little white schools. They catch these girls sucking them off behind the bleachers and all of this shit. So they're sexually frustrated because they're geeky, they're losery like this guy, they're bullied.
And can we be for real?
Yes.
This kid is of the generation where everybody gets a trophy. No matter what you did, you're still a winner. It doesn't matter. And then when he hit puberty, real life smacks him in the face, and he can't handle setback. Oh shit. Everything society and what my parents told me is a fucking lie.
Yeah. That's really what it is about.
Now he's angry and resentful with what his parents said to him, and he wasn't properly prepared for life.
Yeah.
And probably self-conscious of his you can look at it, his face, his aesthetics, physical aesthetics is I'm not into white men, but he's not that sexually appeasing, probably most likely by the opposite sex. And if you look at it, his picture, like he had a cleft lip. He says very, very intelligent. So, most of his time was in the books. So he's probably most likely socially awkward because he was focusing on his studies, because he was probably getting played out. And like I said, I heard on a couple other videos that he was constantly being bullied. So his self-esteem was very low, most likely. And shooting that gun gave him a sense of power.
It's like, look. And matter of fact, on my Twitter yesterday, we were talking about there was this video of, I guess it was a bunch of people, they threw a smoke bomb at this girl. So the girl took a boiling pot of hot water and threw it in this guy's face. That was wrong. They were just playing the prank. And I'm like, let me tell you something. The definition of bullying is called inflicting pain on somebody, be it emotional or physical, for your or other people around you's amusement and joy.
And
the other person does not find that funny. And when they mess you up, suddenly now they're wrong. So what you're saying is that what Flash Thompson was doing to Peter Parker was funny to you, right? That was funny to you? You thought Flash Thompson was just kidding with Peter Parker when he was bullying him? Is that what you're telling me? The girls there's a video out here of these girls in the back of an Uber playing a prank on the driver where they had a gun pointed at his back. He didn't know it because it's nighttime. They got the lights on. He's driving. They're talking to him, but one girl's got a 9mm pointed at his back behind the seat, talking to him, and the girls are giggling and whatnot. He has no idea. That's funny to you, right? That's not bullying. That's funny. That's playing a prank.
They probably pulled his underwear up, pushing him against the locker, stuffing him in the locker. Every time he's around a female, they constantly bully him and embarrass him, which was constantly emasculating him, which caused him to be withdrawn even more. And it's like I'm conflicted because this is what happens when you have bullying. And when we came up, it's a rite of passage, especially if you're in the hood, because you got to establish your pecking order and show that you're not food for someone. Like if you constantly let someone bully your ass, you're going to become food. So, but you have this environment here where you're handicapping these young people. And it's like I'm conflicted where you got these schools now, they go heavy-handed on anything that's perceived as bullying because we got a bunch of weak-ass people. And yes, people do take it way too far. And we in a society now, nobody likes it when the rabbit gets the gun.
There's a reason why colleges did away with hazing, why a lot of sports teams have done away with hazing, because inflicting emotional and psychological and physical pain on, pros still do it. They'll get you up, make you stand on the table, sing your alma mater song or whatnot. That's nothing. That's just part of initiation.
I got hazed when I played sports, and I got hazed in boot camp.
Yeah,
And I got hazed when I was in the Marine Corps. Like, I got punched in the face my very first day by my senior drill instructor. Our drill instructors used to whoop our ass in boot camp. And then when I got corporal in the Marine Corps, they put your chevrons and they don't put the backings on, so they punch your chevrons into your collar, and you got to walk the gauntlet because you becoming a non-commissioned officer. And like when you wear the dress blues, and when you become corporal, that's when you get the blood stripe on your dress blue trousers. So you're walking a straight line down the gauntlet, and they are punching your arm and kneeing the shit out of your legs to make a bruise that go up your leg and up your arms. And then when I got sergeant, it happened again.
I wonder if they still do that.
Oh, yes, they do.
Okay. All right. So
it used to be worse.
Let's not drag this out. We got some articles to cover because there's some war stuff we got to cover. I'm sorry. So on July 15th of July, the FBI said its forensic experts have successfully accessed Crook's phone, and they are examining it and other digital evidence for clues. Yeah, because they want to see if he's been radicalized. Who put him up to it? The inquiry into what took place could last for months, and investigators would work tirelessly to identify what Crook's motivation was, Kevin Rojek, the FBI Pittsburgh special agent in charge, said on the day of the shooting. It's going to be very interesting what they come up with. Speaking to CNN, Crook's father, Matthew Crooks, said he was trying to figure out what the hell is going on, but would wait until I talked to law enforcement before speaking about his son. Don't you think you need to talk to a lawyer? Crook's family is cooperating with investigators, according to the FBI. Citing 3 law enforcement sources, CBS has reported that his father called police after the shooting, although the nature of that call is still unclear. Yeah, why is it unclear? What did you call the police for? In total, more than...
Timmy took my gun.
In total, more than 100 interviews have so far been conducted. Police sealed off the road to the house where Crooks lived with his parents. The search of the residence was completed on 15th of July. Yeah, there was a video of a guy who wanted to go up the road to his house, but there was a man out there blocking. He didn't say he was with Secret Service, but he was blocking the road. He was dressed in civilian clothes. But it's like, why the hell?
What's going to happen? If his parents got a job, they're going to be unemployed. I already see this shit happening.
Oh, yeah. Don't nobody want to be around them. Unless it's a tight-knit group, which probably in that area they might be. It depends on where your standing is.
Pennsylvania going to turn red, and that's a gun state, and Trump is a god over there. I hope they bosses are liberal.
Yeah, but they blocked off the road because, I mean, you have no business up there. The police are doing an investigation. Why do you need to go up there to be nosy?
Yeah, they're going to have all the media trucks down the street.
Exactly.
Cameras.
Yeah, leave these people alone. This is a private road. They don't want you up there, and we don't want you up there. We're conducting an investigation here. A guy tried to assassinate a former president that's now still, currently running for office. This is not the media circus you want it to be. A neighbor told CBS that officers evacuated her in the middle of the night with no warning. Bethel Park police said there was a bomb investigation surrounding Crook's home. Access to the area remains controlled, with a police vehicle blocking entry to the street in front of the house. On Tuesday afternoon, yellow police tape could be seen strung up in front of the residence. The BBC had a clear view of the back of the residence, but could not see any movement inside. Only residents have been allowed in or out of the street. Law enforcement sources told CBS that they believe there was some degree of planning ahead of the shooting, of course. How much time was spent in that planning, however, remains the subject of an ongoing investigation. Police believe Crooks acted alone, but are continuing to investigate whether he was accompanied to the rally. Personally, based on the story that people have told that saw him climbing on that roof and crawling around gorilla style, they knew he was up there. They knew what was going on. They knew he planned that. There's no way in hell Secret Service, because you saw the videos of the Secret Service on top of the structure. They were literally already pointing their guns in his direction. They were looking in his direction. But they didn't wait. They waited until after he got off some shots before they took him out. Have you seen that?
No. You got the video?
Yeah. Yeah. They were already pointing his way. They were already aimed in his direction. You see them up there, right there. And you see them right here on the top left?
Yeah, I see them. Yeah.
Service sniper killed a would-be assassin, but clearly a shot too late. In the moments leading up to the deadly shooting, you can see those two counter snipers scanning for threats in their positions on the rooftop behind former President Trump.
You're already aimed at him. This is where the shots came from, to where they're pointing. This was before he fired. So you saw him. You're looking through the scopes. You're looking right at him.
And he doesn't have on police attire, so he's not one of you. So why is a civilian on top of that fucking roof?
After you had several people say, "Hey, there's a guy up there with a gun crawling around on the roof, guerrilla style. What's up?" And they, what? Who? Where? They just keystone copping.
Like I said, Black Lion Security would have did a better job. Charles.
They're hype
without the contract.
Powered rifles appear to be pointed in the direction of the gunman's position on an adjacent building overlooking the rally. Within seconds, chaos.
He's got a gun!
Stand here. He's on top of the roof. Don't go over there.
Y'all hear the popcorn?
Momentarily
look at him,
startled
look.
by the gunfire, his face leaving the scope, but then quickly recovering and taking out the would-be assassin.
There's no room for error, so that shot placement has to be absolutely precise.
You can see the guy down.
Authorities saying this is the lifeless body of the shooter on the roof of that building. According to a former agent, Secret Service counter-sniper teams should have scoped out and advanced all those areas where there were potential threats beforehand and known what the line of sight to Trump could be.
The fact that somebody was able to get within 200 yards with a rifle and be on an exposed rooftop, be seen by other people there, be seen by where it should have been cameras and drones and many other things in place to watch for that, something broke down. That shooter with that rifle should have never been that close to the former president of the United States at a venue like this.
It was a setup. It was a setup. They tried to JFK him.
and thank God that did not happen, because you thought January 6th was something. You would have had a wrath and a fury that would have came out that would have been catastrophic for the society. You wouldn't have to worry about China or Russia. It'd be the proverbial shit hits the fan.
Should I finish this story about him? Or should we move on?
Let's move on.
All right. Let's get to y'all comments. He has an Indian wife. A landscape in that area you do not see. And yeah, that's right. Jibber Jabber is in Pittsburgh. He's in the area. So a landscape in that area you do not see any Biden yard signs. If you do, it's next to a rainbow, a star, or it reads F Biden. Interesting. Okay. Vance was picked because APAC. Yeah, he's their boy like Trump and Biden. The dude said everything was unprofessional. Yeah, 200 yards with a 308, no problem. All right, so you go ahead. You ready to do the Jill Biden?
Is that the video you sent me?
No, that's right. I was doing the two, and then you was doing the Trump, and then the video, right?
You sent me the Russian Navy drills. That's later, but you sent me a video, YouTube, the one you sent last, and Hindustan, Trump nominated for president after picking JD Vance. Which one you want me to play?
All right, let's do the head of the Secret Service, and then we'll move on to the nomination, the vice president nomination.
That was the last video you sent me, right?
Right, but the first one for you is the nomination, the JD Vance. Yeah. So let's get to Jill Biden, and then we'll move on to that. So this is the chick who's in charge. A DEI hire. Jill Biden's office advocated for Kim Cheadle's appointment as Secret Service director. It's the head of the Secret Service. A recent report reveals that Jill Biden's office played a big role in advocating for Kim Cheadle's appointment as the new Secret Service director. Following a shooting at a Pennsylvania Trump rally that injured the former president, lawmakers are pressing top officials to testify, and Cheadle faces criticism from Trump supporters and calls for her resignation over security failings. As the second woman to lead the Secret Service, her appointment was largely influenced by the advocacy of the First Lady's team, according to sources. Cheadle served on Dr. Biden's second lady detail, and Anthony pushed for her, an insider told the New York Post on Monday. The ex-senior director in global security at PepsiCo has been leading the group since September of 22, becoming its 27th director. She stepped in after James M. Murray, who was director from May 2019 to September 22nd. So this chick worked at Pepsi. She was the head of security at Pepsi. She was guarding soda pop. Oh my God. She was unqualified. Because think about it. These people, they don't like Trump. He's asking for more security detail. She's turning down his request, and now this happens. As per the outlet, 4 people familiar with President Biden's family, including Cheadle from the Obama-Biden era, mentioned that she was popular among Jill Biden and her top advisors, like Anthony Bernal. Anthony has no national security or law enforcement experience. He should have no influence over the selection of the USSS director, the source further added. I heard at the time she was being considered for director that Anthony had pushed for her forward as an option, another source added. During Cheadle's official appointment, President Joe Biden said, "Jill and I know firsthand that Kim's commitment to her job and to the Secret Service's people and mission," he added. "When Kim served on my security detail when I was vice president, we came to trust her judgment and counsel." Yeah, because nobody was trying to shoot at you. Obama took all the heat. Nobody cared about what you were doing. Sleepy, creepy Joe. On Sunday, former President Donald Trump narrowly escaped what was labeled as an assassination attempt. A bullet grazed his ear, causing bleeding, but he avoided fatal injury. The Secret Service instantly neutralized the shooter, identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was killed at the scene. Reports came out later with people who saw it saying they tried to warn the Secret Service but were not listened to. Elon Musk also criticized the lack of attention. Cheadle was scheduled to brief Congress members on Tuesday about how the gunman, Thomas Matthew Crooks, climbed 130 yards from Trump's rally in Butler, PA, and shot bullets aimed at Trump from an AR-15 style rifle that was recovered from the site. Despite criticism directed at the Secret Service director, another source came forward with praise, describing the director as reliable and well-liked. Go fuck yourself. She's getting fired. She's getting fired. You ready, man?
Give me 1 second.
All right, Jilly Nilly. Yeah, she's a DEI hire. Miracle. Miracle. Yeah. Yeah, at the rally. Yeah, this chick almost got him killed. Freaking DEI hire, friend of a friend.
Pull up a picture
of her.
Yeah.
Here she is right here. Unqualified. Because what? She ushered the first lady to dinner parties.
Now, let me pull up the video.
You know, JFK got, I mean, not JFK, the Kennedy boy, Senator Kennedy. He asked for more security detail. They had been denying him. They gave it to him, though, today.
Well, yeah, because yesterday, Sean Hannity was interviewing him on his show, and they were talking about it, the whole situation. So now this is everybody is publicizing the ulterior motives of the administration.
Go ahead.
These major felons led to the assassination attempt of Trump. That's what you want me to play, right?
No. We're going to do the
terror plot in New Jersey.
No, the JD Vance being picked as the.
Oh, all right. The Hindus time.
Right. Before you get there, he was right. Jibba Jabba, I got something for you concerning your boy. Hold on. Wait. I found this. I thought this was so funny. Whoops. Hold on. I'm sorry.
O fante dos fluxos, a nova moda tá lançando.
No chão doidona, tá no chão doidona. Dança pra chamar atenção, tu quer pique então. Manda botada, catucada, da botada, catucada, da.
Yeah, that was Putin and his bodyguards. Yeah, some woman runs. Go ahead.
Nobody's getting next to Lord Putin, so.
Chick ran up to him topless. He was like, "Ooh, boobies." All right. Here, you ready?
Yeah. I'm about to present.
Right.
Share screen.
Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll do the true news.
All right.
It's getting wild out here. Trick's running wild.
You got it?
Yes, there it is right there.
All right. Let me this from the Hindus time. Trump officially nominated for president after picking JD Vance's running mate. This is July 16th. RNC delegates in Milwaukee vote to make Trump official nominee with JD Vance as running mate. Donald Trump has become the official Republican presidential nominee after receiving the votes for enough delegates at the RNC. Trump has been the presumptive nominee for months, but it was the vote of RNC delegates in Milwaukee that made it official Monday afternoon. Trump hit the necessary threshold with votes from his home state of Florida. This is a breaking news update. All right. The top of the Republicans' presidential ticket was becoming together Monday as cheering delegates were casting votes to officially make Donald J. Trump the official GOP nominee, and the former president announced J.D. Vance as his running mate. The announcement came amid a frenzy of phone calls updating potential running mates, and just days after an attempted assassination on Trump at Pennsylvania rally. Inside the convention hall, delegates, flanked by Making America Great Again signs, cheered wildly as state after state voted their support for Trump's second term. All right, boom.
All right, do the true news.
Go to True News. Okay. Let me stop that. Present True News. What they were talking about. Share.
Still laughing at Putin looking at them boobies.
Americans are grateful today that an assassin's bullet did not strike Donald Trump's skull on Saturday. Glory to Almighty God for sparing the life of our former president. Nevertheless, serious questions.
Warning, this is a conservative Christian site. So whatever your religious beliefs are, just to let you know, they are very informative and objective when they criticize both sides. So that's why I always watch this show.
Demand answers regarding the failure of the U.S. Secret Service to protect the president. Even more troubling is the possibility that some members of the Secret Service were complicit in the attempted assassination. I'm Rick Wiles. This is True News for Monday, July 15, 2024. Before we begin our discussion of the Secret Service and the events on Saturday, let's begin with a major news development that took place early today, Monday morning. There you see the headline, CBS News, Trump documents case dismissed by federal judge. The judge is Judge Cannon right here on the Treasure Coast of Florida. The federal court is in Fort Pierce. The judge lives here in Vero Beach. And Doc, this I think caught everybody by surprise this morning.
Yes, it caught all members of the media by surprise. Of course, the big news over the weekend, the assassination attempt. The Republican National Convention starts today. You would think that would be the big news item.
In about 1 hour.
Yes. So the federal judge overseeing the case alleging former President Donald Trump mishandled sensitive government documents after leaving the White House has dismissed the charges against him and his two co-defendants. U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon said in a 93-page order that she has granted President Trump's bid to dismiss the indictment based on what she says is the unlawful funding and appointment of special counsel Jack Smith, who brought the charges against the former president. Now, the former president faced 40 charges stemming from his handling of documents marked classified after leaving office and allegedly obstructing the Justice Department's investigations. The dismissal of the case caps a stunning weekend for the former president, who was the target of an assassination attempt during a rally in Butler County, Pennsylvania. President Trump said a bullet grazed his ear while he was addressing the crowd of his supporters. The gunman, identified by the FBI as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, was killed by the Secret Service. So this is breaking within the past hour and a half. And so these developments on this be fleshed out. But Rick, this is a stunning development in this case.
The dominoes are falling.
Yes.
Every single thing the Democrats and the deep state orchestrated to bring down Donald Trump in 2024. Everything is collapsing. Nothing is sticking. Yes. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Folks, we're witnessing. I don't have adjectives to describe what we're witnessing.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
It is. And you have to, it's like, is this for real? What are we watching? Anyhow, the case is gone. They're not going to be able to try him. In fact, the judge said Jack Smith's appointment as prosecutor was unconstitutional.
Which we talked about briefly last week. We had mentioned that was a possibility that was out there. But to see this happen, it happens today, Monday, following the assassination attempt. Monday, the first day of the Republican National Convention. You can't beat the timing, Rick.
He's soaring, and the judge picked the right timing for her decision. I don't know if she obviously didn't know anything about the assassination attempt, but the timing could not have been better because there's not going to be any criticism of it.
Right.
There's no time to criticize when you're dealing with an attempted assassination on a former president, a presidential candidate, a judge's decision is minor news at this point. So I'm going to go down to number 3. I think many of us, now look, I'm going to tell you, we're not going to rehash and show you every single thing that happened Saturday. All of us have seen the videos over and over and over. But we want to focus on is the Secret Service. And I'm going to ask some tough questions. And that's where I'm going here today. So I think most of us have seen this photograph of President Trump on the floor of the stage. And, Doc, that is a photograph that will be in history books as long as this country exists.
Yes.
You will never eliminate that photograph. What we experienced Saturday is historical. A former president, leading candidate for president, attempted assassination, and to the glory of God that he didn't die, because literally a movement of his head by about an inch.
Yes.
In fact, he turned his head as the bullet came by. And New York Post, I'm not going to read the entire article because I really want to get into this discussion.
And of course, that's the other iconic image coming out of the rally on Saturday.
You can't orchestrate these things. This is just like the soldiers at Iwo Jima raising the flag.
Right.
It's like George W. Bush at with the firemen.
Right.
At the World Trade Center. There are certain photographs you can't orchestrate it.
Yes.
You can't stage it. It's just, there it is. It's history. A triumphant, bloodied president raising his fist with the American flag above him. And the president said, in this interview with the New York Post, he said, I'm supposed to be dead. He talks about, what happened at the hospital. And he said, by luck or by God, many people are saying it's by God, I'm still here. I'm praying that Mr. Trump realizes it's not luck, it's by God. God spared his life and allowed him to continue living. And it's, to me, clearly obvious. And I don't care what anybody says. You can get upset with me, do whatever you want to do. It is beyond obvious that God's hand is on Donald Trump. You cannot dispute this. Something amazing is taking place in this man's life and the existence of this country. And I think we're going to have to go into his next term to see what God is doing in all this. But even Mr. Trump doesn't seem to be fully grasping the spiritual significance of it. But hopefully, and later in the program, we're going to show you something that maybe if it's there's a dream or a vision. What was it the man had?
I think it was a dream, and he recounted it to Steve Ciccolani.
We'll talk about it later. If this is accurate, then clearly God is involved in what happened over the weekend.
But looking back through American history, there have been those pivotal moments where one man made a difference in the policy and direction of the future of America. Yes. And it's amazing the close calls that have been assassination attempts in the past.
Doc, the first thing that came to my mind Saturday was a former president who was from the state of New York.
Yes.
Like
Donald
Trump, a New York Republican running for a third term.
Right.
And I'm talking about Theodore Roosevelt. And he was shot where? Milwaukee. And the Republican convention opens today in Milwaukee.
It was so weird.
It's just, I don't know. You can't make up this stuff. Okay, so here's a newspaper, New York Times, October 1912.
October 15th, 1912. Yes.
Maniac in Milwaukee shoots Colonel Roosevelt. He ignores the wound, speaks an hour, goes to the hospital.
Sound familiar?
Actually, Doc, he was shot in his car.
Yeah, that's what I.
But he was on his way to a speech.
Yes.
So he told the driver, "Take me to the location for my speech," and he walked in. Huge auditorium.
Who had already heard the news.
They'd heard the news, and Roosevelt comes in bleeding, holding his side, and says, "I've been shot," and spoke for over an hour. Then they took him to the hospital. The doctors never removed the bullet. They decided that it was not life-threatening to him. So Teddy Roosevelt went to his grave with the bullet still in his chest. But it happened in Milwaukee. And Republican convention is in Milwaukee. And then I think we have another still. Yeah, here's, I'm not sure which newspaper this is.
I wasn't sure either.
I can't tell. Theodore Roosevelt is shot by a maniac, operated on in Chicago hospital this AM. Assassin's bullet lodges in breast.
So not only did he go and give a speech, but he went to the hospital in Chicago.
Yeah, he didn't want the Milwaukee hospital.
I don't know, but that's where he ended up. So, and there's of course President Roosevelt, and I mean he's a fighter. I mean, I can't imagine standing up giving a speech for an hour after being shot
with a bullet wound in your chest, in your side. And then I think many of us remember what happened. Well, we get a video. Do you think we should show this, Doc? I'm looking.
It's about 4 minutes, and so
maybe we shouldn't. I'll let this. What do you think? It's a historical. Okay, this is a report by Fox 6 TV Milwaukee
back in 2013.
Yes, it's almost 10 years old, and this was reliving the day that John Schrank shot Teddy Roosevelt. Let's watch it.
If you've ever been to a campaign event, then you've clearly seen just how much protection and security surrounds the president or even his challenger Mitt Romney. 100 years ago, it wasn't that hard at all to run up to a president on a downtown street. What occurred on October 14th, 1912, almost went down in the history books.
Hey, I had to pause it for a minute. You heard what he said, right, Bay? About the protection that Mitt Romney had? You hear me, Bay?
So I'm sitting up here like, yeah, my mic was
one-time
muted.
sitting president right here in Milwaukee. Teddy Roosevelt could never sit still. By 1912, he already had 2 terms under his belt as president, but old TR wanted more. And his supporters were ready to give him another 4 years as a third-party reform candidate. TR called it the Progressive Party. His friends had another name in mind, as historian John Cooper puts it.
And that's what they call the Bull Moose Party, because somebody asked TR, how do you feel? He said, I feel as fit as a bull moose.
Did we mention he does impersonations? There were no term limits at the time, so Roosevelt, a vibrant 53 years old, felt he could do a better job than the man who took his place, William Howard Taft. The third candidate was Democrat Woodrow Wilson. Roosevelt had stiff competition.
He wants to get those votes in Wisconsin.
So he made his way to Milwaukee on October 14th. The trip wasn't going well that day.
And the problem was he'd strained his voice.
So many speeches, so many cities. Roosevelt decided to rest first in his room at the old Gilpatrick Hotel near 3rd and Kilbourne, where the Hyatt now sits.
And then he had come out and gotten into the car.
An open car, surrounded by a small crowd, including one deranged man.
He'd just gotten into the car when John Schrank shot him. Schrank was standing about 7 feet away.
John Schrank, who came all the way from Brooklyn on a mission.
He was obsessed with the Constitution, and he felt that Roosevelt shouldn't run for a 3rd term and that he must be stopped at all costs.
The bullet went through the overcoat, the suit coat. It nicked the side. It went through the edge of the glasses case. And then it went through the pages of the speech and penetrated his chest.
All of that probably saved his life. Now, you think the next stop would be the hospital. Roosevelt refused. He insisted his team take him down Kilbourne to the old Milwaukee Theater, where the crowd could not believe what they heard.
He was introduced, and when he walked down, huge standing ovation. And he said, you know, I've just been shot, and please be quiet. I can't speak as loudly as I normally do.
In what was then called the Milwaukee Auditorium, Roosevelt went on to speak for at least an hour, according to various accounts. He was eventually rushed to the hospital. There's no known photo of Roosevelt during the speech or right after the shooting. You can find a headline from the paper at Milwaukee's Historical Society. And walk into the Hyatt off 3rd Street, you'll see a plaque commemorating that day in history that almost ended tragically. Or as TR would have said from the mouth of our professor,
it takes more than that to kill a bull moose.
Roosevelt went on the rest of his life with that bullet still in his chest. Doctors determined it wasn't a threat to his internal organs. The gunman, John Schrank, spent the rest of his life in a state prison for the criminally insane.
They don't make them like Teddy Roosevelt.
No.
We haven't seen a president like that since Teddy Roosevelt.
Right.
All right. One of a kind. I think many of us remember the day in March 2000. When was it? Not March.
1981.
1981.
Yes.
When President Reagan was shot by John Hinckley. We got a short video. This is from PBS.
Ronald Reagan was 2 months into his presidency when John Hinckley Jr. drew a $29 handgun outside the Washington Hilton Hotel on March 30th, 1981. He wounded the president, Brady, a Secret Service agent, and a Washington police officer. Reagan and his guards fully recovered.
That's in the 80s,
$29.
Yeah.
If only they made AR-15s back then.
And you see the reaction here, right?
Oh, they swarmed that guy so quick.
Yeah.
But the .22 caliber bullet exploded into Brady's forehead and left him partially paralyzed.
President Reagan carried a firearm.
Yes.
Ever since that event.
Right.
He was concerned about his safety inside the White House.
Right. And several years later, this takes a lot of guts, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Several years later, when he was speaking in Berlin about the Berlin Wall coming down, there was a balloon that popped out in the crowd. And it sounded like a gun went off, and Reagan said, "Miss me."
Did he really?
Yes.
I don't remember that story.
Yes,
I don't remember that. Saturday,
Pause it.
I knew something strange.
I guess that's the Amanda Seals logic. Sounded like popcorn. Sounded like a balloon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, smooth brain logic.
Yeah.
I guess how many rods was going through her, it pumped the wrinkles out of her brain. So let me go back.
Strange was taking, well, obviously, there's a tragedy. The president had just been shot. But there was something strange taking place as I watched the news media deny that there was an attempted assassination. And it continued throughout the late afternoon into the evening. I don't think that they got around to saying attempted assassination until Sunday.
Well, and the tide started to turn late Saturday evening when the Secret Service said it was an assassination attempt. So, but it took a while.
NBC said popping noises were heard.
Yes.
The Washington Post said loud noises were heard. I was just stunned at how ludicrous the news media was acting in downplaying an obvious attempted assassination. The one I'm going to put up on the screen here, I took a photograph of this with my phone. And look at this. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally.
He just fell, Rick.
And they rushed him away. What idiot publishes something like that? I mean, it's a total idiot to do something like that. An idiot or somebody who's ordered do not tell the public there was an attempted assassination.
Right.
Which one is it?
And this went on for hours Saturday evening into Sunday. So even major outlets were
They
still
called it
saying
an incident.
yes.
There was an incident.
There was popping noises.
And I heard TV news reporters saying, well, we can't say that it was gunfire. We don't know yet if it's gunfire. Oh, well, there's somebody behind the president who's dead. Did they die from popping noises? Were they killed by loud noises? They wouldn't even say that did you notice how many hours they went until they admitted somebody had been killed?
Yes. I mean, it took late into Saturday evening.
What kind of reporting is it? So I got to tell you, I was going back and forth, watching television and watching Twitter and social media.
Yes.
And the news I was getting was social media. The propaganda I was getting, the misinformation, was Fox News, CNN, NBC. Horrible misinformation.
Yeah, even Fox News was holding back on saying, we don't know the whole situation yet. And yet it was obvious. But anyone that watched, they knew what was going on.
But then you could go over to the British news and get more reporting from Great Britain than you were getting from the United States.
Yes.
So, Wall Street Journal. This is today. Trump shooting is Secret Service's most stunning failure in decades. I'm going to take the next half hour to talk about the Secret Service. Look, some very serious questions must be asked. And I'm not the only one asking the questions. You cannot reasonably conclude that this was just a failure of the Secret Service to communicate with local law enforcement,
which is
the way they're trying to spin it. They're trying to blame the Butler, Pennsylvania police. Okay, right. So let's start with the Telegraph in London, not the Washington Post, not the New York Times. It's the Telegraph in London. Trump's security was warned about gunmen 4 minutes before the shooting. Nobody in the United States is talking about this. I mean, they didn't on Saturday night.
Right.
They didn't talk about it. And yet you're watching it on social media. So what do we have here? All right. Video shows would-be assassin crawling on roof. Look at the people that are watching this, urging the police to do something.
So you have about at least 2, maybe 3 dozen people there looking at the building where the gunman was positioned. And some of these had already reported to law enforcement by this time that something was happening there on the roof of that building.
How many of those people had concealed carry weapons?
Well, if they were outside the rally area, I would say there's a 50-50 chance.
Oh, that's right, because they couldn't bring their weapons into...
Right. But if this was outside, and I think it is outside the rally area, I'd say at least a 50-50 chance.
Why didn't anybody...
Yeah, because I remember when Obama, when he was first running, we were in Ohio, and me and my friend went to go see him. I had a tiny little pocket knife keychain, not as big as my finger. I had to throw it away or put it back in the car. I threw it away. Car was too far away. Little pocket knife, the little scissors, little Swiss, little army knife, little bitty tiny one. I had to throw it away. Go ahead.
That's what the NOI security do too. You can't even go in with a fingernail clipper.
They just try to get up on the roof and stop this guy.
Well, that's a great question.
Why? Why didn't you risk your life? Why didn't you risk your life to save the lives of other people?
And apparently a law enforcement agent did climb the building.
And then he retreated. Why didn't he take him out?
Well, the story that's going down now is he was not properly armed to respond to that.
He wasn't properly armed?
Yeah.
He didn't have a gun?
That's the story, right?
He didn't have a gun.
That's the story.
He's protecting the president of the United States, and he wasn't armed.
Well, they're saying this was a local law enforcement.
But he wasn't armed?
That's the story that's going out right now.
So they sent an unarmed officer to a presidential political rally?
Well, there's lots of questions.
That's another
right?
question. This doesn't make sense. These are all the things that have to be answered. Was the officer unarmed? And if he was unarmed, who sent him there unarmed? But if he was armed, why didn't he take him out?
Right.
And so now if they comes back and they go, well, there had to be permission to shoot to kill. Really? When somebody's getting ready to kill the president of the United States, you have to get permission? Those are the rules of engagement? You have to get permission?
Or do you have to wait until he makes an attempt?
Well, that's what happened. They didn't shoot him until he started shooting.
And so there's lots of questions being thrown out there that they did not know who it was. It could have been, they're making the excuse that it could have been a law enforcement officer on the building.
Dressed in plain clothes.
Well, they didn't know that at the time.
Well, you
That's
can
the
look,
excuse.
you can see the guy. Come on, you can see the guy.
And for sure, the sniper, the Secret Service sniper could certainly see it, right?
Yeah.
So
they could see him. They knew it wasn't law enforcement. I'm not buying any of these stories. So I want to go to this is number 15. This is the BBC in London with a reporter in Butler, Pennsylvania, interviewing a witness who said he tried to tell the Secret Service and police for about 4 minutes that there was a gunman on the roof, crawling on the roof with a rifle. And I'm watching this on Twitter, realizing it's being reported in London on the BBC, but it's not
Nowhere
on Fox
else.
News. It's not on Fox News. It's not on CNN. It's just an endless stream of propaganda and misinformation. The media is an enemy of the American people. I'm telling you right now, that establishment media is an enemy of the American people. Let's watch this video.
So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him up the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
He's
good question.
Asking a lot of great questions. Shouldn't there be law enforcement every single building around there within 500 yards? I would think so.
Let's take a look at this next video. I think this one is showing the one of the police snipers shooting at the assassin. It's a very short clip. Let's watch.
And that's a little bit old, that chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
A couple of things to notice in that, and it appears that the prone sniper. I'm just a recliner,
Yes.
Observation.
So I'm
here.
hesitant to say something because I'm not in that situation.
Right.
I'm not on the roof in that environment.
But two things I noticed immediately was there appeared to be a moment of hesitation.
Yes.
It could have been he was retargeting. I'm not a sniper. The second sniper on the roof put his head down behind the sandbags up on the roof. Now, maybe that's standard operating procedure.
Let's watch it again.
I don't know.
Let's watch it again and try to watch both men on the roof watch the actions of their heads. Watch.
And that's a little bit old, that chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something.
They're looking right at him.
What happened?
You're right. I didn't pay attention to the second one.
All right.
He was ducking behind the sandbag.
Yes.
There's someone shooting at the president, and the police sniper is ducking behind sandbags.
I noticed that Saturday when they were starting to roll these clips over and over again. And I was like, something is just not right about all of this. Now, is there a plot? Is there something? I don't know. All I know is there was an assassin that got on a point that could shoot the president close enough
Doug,
to take his head off.
I don't want to be gory, but the rally was being televised nationally. Do you know the shock if that bullet would have pierced President Trump's skull?
Oh, we would have had a Kennedy moment.
I know. You would have seen the president's skull explode on live television. That's how close we came to a tragedy beyond imagination. I want to skip down to number 18. This is Republican Florida Congressman Corey Mills, a former U.S. Army sniper. I was quite surprised that of what he said on Fox News, that it managed to get out on Fox News. And I was even more surprised that Jesse Waters encouraged the conversation.
Yes.
And we'll see if Jesse Waters is still employed at Fox News today. But let's watch.
Let's bring in Florida Congressman and former U.S. Army sniper, Corey Mills. What kind of shot was this, Corey, from 130 yards?
Look, at the end of the day, this is a shot that your basic training boot camp soldier is requested to make within their 9-week period. This is one of the easiest shots, and they train all the way out till 300 or 500. And when I was doing the counter sniper, it wasn't with the United States.
When I was in the Marine Corps, we trained from 10 yards all the way to 500 yards. And that's standard boot camp rifle qualification. To shoot a M16 rifle when I was in. The maximum was at 500 yards.
States Army. It was actually when I was with the State Department and was doing this exact thing, which is trying to look at going out with an advanced team, establishing what the perimeter is. And then as a sniper, when you would set up, you'd put together your range sketch or your range fan cards. And that would tell you where your 100, your 200, your 300, and you'd identify the areas of threat that you would be able to mitigate. And if there's multiple targets, you understand that your elevation and windage knob wouldn't have to be messed with, especially at 160 yards. You could literally just look, quickly glance, and know from the reference point, whether it be a building, whether it be a lone tree, whether it be a parking lot, maybe it's a road. Bottom line is that this is massive negligence to the point of me speculating on what was intentional and what wasn't.
Wow. When you're doing a site survey and you're seeing this rooftop not that far away, why did it look like the counter sniper team was a little surprised?
You know, I can only speculate, and we'll have to wait until the investigation comes out, that they thought local law enforcement was potentially climbing up onto the roof when they saw a dark object on a light roof. But here's the issue.
Wait. You're saying maybe they misconstrued crooks for local law enforcement?
It's very possible. I don't want to speculate until the investigation is over, but the bottom line is that if you saw someone climbing onto a roof that you hadn't authorized any clearance on, it's got a clear line of sight. It's exactly adjacent to the shooting where the president was sitting, and you're talking about a pop shot, and you got people yelling, and there should have been comms. The minute that local law enforcement, who apparently had a rifle pointed on, there should have been an emergency frequent comms channel that they could have said, we have a shooter on the roof, shooter on the roof. Secret Service should have rushed the stage and immediately took the president and took him off and then responded to the counter sniper. The shot should not have gone off. That is the failure in itself. You're supposed to be able to try and, the best security is when you go in and you're actually able to prevent an incident, not react to an incident. Even if you would have left a law enforcement officer's patrol car in that parking lot with the lights on, that could have been a deterrent. But when you have nothing that is actually showing force protection, you're encouraging this. Look, I'm not sure about who the individuals are on the individual detail Secret Service, but I can tell you under this Biden administration, the one thing I've seen is massive DEI hires. And I can tell you, when you primarily go after DEI, you end up with DIE.
So when you have these counter snipers waiting until 8 rounds are fired, what accounts for that?
To be honest with you,
after the first shot, you get a return fire immediately?
The minute that shot rang out, they should have already been on scope. Your spotter should have already have called the distance if you hadn't looked at your range card, and you should have immediately engaged. Okay. There should have been no reason to have waited a single second. Now, I talked to Eric Trump after the incident. Eric and I are both gun enthusiasts. We both shoot long distance. That right there is a pop shot. But he did say, I've gone out with the CS teams, and they are one of the best. He knows the service detail that's with them. They are loyal individuals who actually do care about the president. I can say that was relayed to me. But the bottom line is this is a massive security breach. This is a huge failure. At negligence is at best. But we have to figure out why something within 200 yards. Think about this, Jesse, 200 yards. That means that an average rifle that holds 1 minute of angle would hold a 2-inch grouping if you just shot it straight off the deck, meaning on a platform. So now you're talking about 160, which is 1.6 inches is what its grouping capabilities are. The average head is what? 6x8, shoulder to shoulder is 20 inches, head to waist is 40 inches, and President Trump's a very large man. This is a...
Hey, Bay.
Yeah.
Does that look like blood capsules to you?
No.
Amanda Seals. Okay.
Educated within idiot. 5 minutes, I could teach you to make 9 out of 10 times. So this is divine intervention. This is the God having his protective hand and wearing Ephesians 6, the armor of God over the president, because this right here, a millisecond or a millimeter and change, and this isn't an attempted assassination. This is an assassination of a president.
The devil was in Butler, Pennsylvania, but so was God.
Well, and I can say one more thing, if I may, which is that let us also remember that King Henry II went in and said, can no one rid me of this turbulent priest? And his knights went out and killed the Archbishop of Canterbury because they thought that was a direct order. What do you say when President Biden says it's time to put a target on Trump? That, in my opinion, is the insightful rhetoric. That's the stuff that they would have went after for the J6 stuff. So why don't we have our own J13 investigation?
Yeah, there needs to be a full investigation on this. Absolutely. And it needs to not be crooked like some of these other former investigations were.
That's right.
Politicians.
I'm out.
Again, I'm surprised that made.
Now, when I posted the video that I posted earlier with all of those politicians talking about beating up Trump and taking them out and getting them all in their faces, you know what Facebook said?
That was hate speech?
They said that it was taken out of context. And then they turned around and posted the context of every video, like maybe about 10 minutes later. And what they posted proved what I was saying. That how was it taken out of context? You literally threatened the man's life. You threatened physical violence on him.
And what did you think? Unhinged yahoos out there that take every word as gospel, just like this man said.
We at the 2-hour mark. Shall we continue for 4?
Yeah, why not? I'm on vacation. Right. I'm on vacation. Fuck it.
Oh, you on vacation?
Yeah.
Why you take a vacation now?
I deserve one.
Okay. I wish you. Never mind. That's a back chat. That's a back chat. All right.
My vacation started today.
Get some Umar lashes for you.
Oh God, I wasn't with no snow bunnies. Chill out.
And whose fault is that?
Okay.
Maybe it's too hot for snow bunnies.
Yeah.
Out there with snow bunnies with tattoos and
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Purple hair.
I would hate to see a New Jersey snow bunny.
I can send you some pictures.
Oh my God. Are they worse than Ohio snow bunnies?
Just as worse.
I mean, we're laughing. I mean, a woman is a woman is a woman. I mean, and if you're offended about brothers talking about snow bunnies, then clearly all that manosphere talk is bullshit to you. Anyway,
let me hit play.
Go ahead.
It on Fox News and wasn't interrupted. Now the next one. This video features Mr. Dallas Alexander. He's a Canadian Army sniper who holds the record for the longest recorded kill at over 3.5 kilometers. That's 2.2 miles. It's in Afghanistan. Again, Canadian Army sniper. He released this video, and he's very direct in what he believes happened on Saturday. Let's watch.
Yo, good morning. I keep getting asked about this, so I'm just gonna let you know my opinion. I am talking about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. And I know everyone's gonna have some crazy opinion. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion. It's gonna be very wild for the next little while, but just if you don't know me or are new to this page, I spent just about 17 years in the military, just about 14 of which were at Tier 1 Special Operations Unit called JTF-2.
JTF is Canadian Special Ops. It's like the equivalent to Navy SEALs. Canadian version.
Our sniper team has the world record for the longest confirmed sniper kill. And a huge part of our job while I was there and while I was a sniper was doing close protection for VIPs up to and including the Prime Minister when he would go to, dangerous countries like Iraq or Afghanistan. We would be in charge of that security. So I'm very familiar with the layout of these types of things and what the jobs should be. And yesterday, what happened, I have no doubts in my mind that the shooter had help from somewhere within an agency, an organization, or the government. The second I saw that aerial photo of what they were saying happened, it immediately made no sense to me. You cannot, in broad daylight, get onto a rooftop within, it looked like maybe a couple hundred yards, if that. You can't get into that position with a gun when there's a president speaking. It cannot be done. It's not like you don't even need to be a sniper to know that it's the most obvious thing, an obvious place in the whole world. You could be a 7th grader and be like, what do we need to do for security here? Well, let's look at these rooftops that are almost within zeroing range of a rifle. So it's something happened, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. It's too obvious that this guy had help getting there. So whether it's someone turned a blind eye or it was strategically planned, I mean, it had to be planned to a certain level.
Strategically planned. He said the shooter had help within the government, within an agency, within the government. Doc, that is my belief. You can only explain this through one of two explanations. One, there was incredible incompetence.
Right.
Like Keystone Cops. Anybody remember? Used to say when you said Keystone Cops, people knew what that meant. Okay, that's really
we're dating ourselves.
Yeah, it's really extra dating. Okay, but it's
Hey, Bay. Hey, Bay. Hey, Bitter.
Yes. You got me running
Did
back
you
from the
did you view this video before I'm playing it?
I didn't get it out. They didn't have this much.
No, but yeah, you mentioned Keystone Cops. That's why I was laughing. Yeah.
In other words, law enforcement at a comedy level. So,
except it's not funny.
It's not funny. So the first option to explain it is extreme incompetence. So if that's the case, then there has to be a massive house cleaning at the Secret Service agency today. Not 6 months from now, but today. Joe Biden should be firing people today. Because his security is at stake.
That's right.
And his wife and his family and the vice president. I mean, if I were in his shoes and I was told, hey, our people are incompetent, I'd be, wait a minute, these are the same people guarding me.
Right.
Okay.
And his wife.
Yeah, fire all of them. Get some new people in here. The second option to explain it is complicity. Is somebody in the Secret Service orchestrated an attempted assassination of President Trump? Now, has there been talk of killing Trump?
Absolutely. Or they've talked about eliminating him.
This has been going on since he went in the White House. In fact, if you go back to 2016, in the fall of 2016, on True News, I laid out a list of things that they would do to Donald Trump, including, they couldn't stop him at the election. Then they would try to stop him in the Electoral College. Then they would declare him to be a Russian stooge. I said, if that doesn't work, they're going to try to say he's mentally unfit.
They tried that, and then go after him in the courts.
And I said, if all that fails, the last thing they're going to do is shoot him.
Yes.
Okay, we just arrived at the shoot him place in history. Saturday, they tried to shoot him. Everything they've done to stop him has failed. I'm going to tell you right now, there was a deep state operation against Donald Trump. It was deep state. It was somebody inside the establishment of this country that said, we are not going to allow Donald Trump in the White House again. Look, the man's going to stop the wars.
And that stops the money.
Hundreds of billions of dollars of profits going to stop flowing into defense contractors. There's a lot of things that's going to stop if Donald Trump goes back into the White House. There are people with vested interests in making sure he doesn't enter the White House. Yes, I do believe it was an attempted assassination, not by a lone shooter. They always use some patsy. Always. But the patsy was given entry. He was given entrance into a secure area. And even witnesses there were pointing to the Secret Service saying there's a man on the roof with a rifle, and nobody did anything.
It didn't appear to startle anybody other than the people who were pointing it out.
It's almost like they were like, oh, great, he's been spotted. What are we going to do now? I've never seen anything like this, Doc. It is really astounding to watch this take place.
And it's convenient. They killed the shooter.
Well, of course. He won't be around. And then it just weird.
Weird.
The shooter, the assassin, happened to appear in a BlackRock TV ad.
Of all people.
What?
They came right out of Central Casting.
How many times have we seen this scenario?
Yes. I keep waiting for the remarks. He was on our radar.
Oh, the FBI said
Yes.
we were watching him?
Yes. So anyway, this is from the New York Post. BlackRock, the big financial and everything else conglomerate, was actually...
BlackRock is managing Ukraine?
Yes, they're managing the finances of Ukraine right now.
And they've got the contract to rebuild Ukraine.
That's correct. So BlackRock, the world's largest money manager, pulled an ad that briefly featured Thomas Crooks, the 20-year-old who shot and wounded former President Donald Trump at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. The company said Crooks was a student at Bethel Park High School and appeared in the 2022 ad with other unpaid teens. If we go back to the still of the headline, please.
Wow, they didn't even pay him.
The young man, the 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who everyone is being told shot the president. This is him in... BlackRock went on to say in 2022, we ran an ad featuring a teacher from Bethel Park High School in which several unpaid students briefly appeared in the background, including Thomas Matthew Crooks.
It's another
weird. It's like
MK Ultra.
It's like
episode.
It's like Oswald showing up at a Cuban rally, and so anyway, this is
with Ted Cruz's father there.
Yes,
okay,
just coinkydink.
So we have the ad. The so-called mainstream media won't show you this ad. Fortunately, it was on social media over the weekend. We captured it.
Ad.
This is the BlackRock ad that has the assassin in it.
Let's see.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
They trust in BlackRock with their retirement plan. They are crazy.
All right, I've got one more piece I want to show before we run out of time. I'm going to jump down to number 26. This is Charisma News, and prophecy foretold attempted assassination months in advance. And the people in this video, let's say I understand it's Brandon Biggs and Amanda Grace. Now,
and appearing on Steve Ciccolani's program, Destiny Ministries.
And so Mr. Biggs, whom I don't know, said that he described in this video recorded months ago that the Holy Spirit showed him something that would happen to President Trump. Let's watch the video. I have not seen it yet. Let's watch it, and then we'll make some comments.
The Lord told me, he said, I am not done with America. Amen. He said, there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out. And that's whenever I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan. And then I saw Oklahoma, and there was embers of people, and they were all on they had torches all throughout Oklahoma, and they were raising up these torches that looked like fire, and they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation. And it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning the presidency through great, the Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him.
Pause that.
The judges and
wait, something is important coming.
I know, but look at I want to point out, you see up here on the top right, where it say Courtesy Discovery Ministries. Look at the date.
3/14/24.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff, but there would be a stop to it, and there things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there will be a great economy crash. Yeah. I saw they had a great economy plan, a crash, worse than the Great Depression. And the Lord warned.
That's why I wanted to play right there. And, whatever your religious views may be, but what have Bitter Truth been talking about on his Bitter Truth channel, his Embrace Villainy channel, or when people listen to Art New Style, BGS, when they have Salchi up, we talk about the economy. What has Bay been talking about where he's been getting his food generator? I've been talking about food prices since COVID, and we've been telling you, get prepared.
Oh no,
whatever you make.
Those pictures I sent you, they're all fake.
Yeah,
the videos, they're all fake.
Damn you! Why you deceive me like that?
I drew them and then I put them in the pantry and took pictures. It's really nothing but cobwebs and dead muskrats back there,
And whatever your religious views may be, that's between you and your higher power.
So
we've been hearing things for the past few years and months and weeks. They've been talking about the economy. You and a lot of us, we love entertainment. We love to entertain ourselves from our stressful lives. But that part, what he said, and we've been talking about this for a while, whatever channel you may be on, even on Black Ram, shout out to Black Ram and Ohin Omara, the Crypto Gang podcast.
And Black Light Revelations.
Yep.
He's been on it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been on it heavy. I mean, that's all he do.
AB Media been covering it. If you still here, shout out to AB Media. Get your shit in order, because whoever gets in office, it's going to be a shit show. And like, just this moment, take a moment and reflect, and get your shit in order. Get your house in order. That's the most important thing. Get your power tools and your food and your resources.
No. Wait until the white folks start panic buying. Then you go and get your food.
Yeah, you gotta wait until all the white people buy up all the toilet paper.
Yeah, when they get the toilet paper and the milk, then that's when you go into Walmart on a quiet little Saturday morning, about 7:30. Yeah. Then you can quietly go ahead and get you that expired pack of noodles and some pinto beans and some hot dog buns, maybe.
And stuff with flavor you don't like.
Yeah. Get you some ice cream.
And I don't mean to get vulgar. Motherfuckers gonna be giving blowjobs for a cup of noodles and a can of tuna. I'm telling you. But I digress. Let me finish playing this.
While their wife is in the car.
About this, it would be a great dark time. But I saw paddles coming upon America's soil, like a shocking of the soil. And I saw Donald Trump praying in the office of the Oval Office, and he was weeping before the Lord with his hands on his head like this, but he was weeping. And there was ministers and people. I don't know if they were senators or Congress people or whatever. I just saw them pacing and back and forth inside of the White House. I'm sorry, what is the White House, but it's the Oval Office. Yeah. And they were interceding all inside there, and I could feel the presence of the Lord so strong on this. And then I could see that darkness, that was the heaviness upon America with the financial crisis of what I saw coming. It started to lift above the trees, and I saw the blue and the things coming back out, and the green times and the good times coming back again. But the Lord said it would be forth a time of a season of a shaking, and it would be a shaking to awaken.
That says it was recorded March 14, 2024?
Yes, just a couple of months ago. The detail is stunning. You can't deny that.
A bullet flies past his ear. The whole world just saw that.
Yes.
He falls to the ground. We saw that.
Yes.
Now, he becomes radically saved, radically on fire for God. We haven't seen that yet.
Right.
But wow. An end to the lawfare. We just saw that today.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to go forward on Donald Trump after today.
But Doc, the rest of this man's vision, that after President Trump is elected, there is a massive economic crash worse than the Great Depression, great darkness over the land. We're looking, that's possibly early next year.
Right.
Look, if you're going to believe that the first part of that dream is from God, you have to accept the second part too.
That's correct.
I don't like that part. I don't even like the first part, all right, about a bullet flying past him. I like the part about him being radically saved. That's the part I like. If I could cherry pick parts of that vision, that's what I would choose. Okay, let's skip all that other stuff and just go for Donald Trump saved. I care about his soul. But we just witnessed a bullet fly past his ear. We just witnessed him fall to the ground. We just witnessed today a major law case against him ended today.
Really, it all ended today.
Yes.
Really.
The big one ended today. The rest of it will just fall in segments in the coming weeks. But we have to then accept, if this dream, this vision is of the Lord, then we have to accept that there's a massive economic crash coming. But he said he also saw congressmen and senators in the Oval Office walking around the president, praying and interceding for him. I want to be there, Doc. Oh, God, I want to be there. I would be deeply honored. I would love to be there. I would love to be there. But it's all based on God's will.
Right.
It's all based on God's will. Each of us need to be in total submission to God's will and be where you're supposed to be. Be in your battle position.
Yes.
Get in your position. Be in your assigned position to do the work that God has chosen for you to do.
.com.
All right. Is this
Here
where they
on
get
Morning
into
Manna?
the? Hold on.
That's
Is
it.
this where they
That.
get into? Yeah, I'm about to say that normally halfway into the show they get into their religious talk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So, do you want to pick up, since you're on vacation? You want to end it with Snowman and then pick up tomorrow?
Yeah, we could do that.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We have some things we actually want to pick up on, things we want to show you. We want to talk about let's see here. We want to get on this, how the U.S. Coast Guard patrol spots Chinese naval ships off Alaska Island. Also, joint Chinese-Russian naval drills start in South China Sea. Also, matter of fact, you want to do this now?
We can do it
The
tomorrow.
feds for the terror plot in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
I think that's more appropriate for tomorrow.
All right, we'll do that. Where the white supremacists tried to take out the power grid, and of course, the judge removed from the long-running gang and racketeering case against rapper Young Thug and others. That's here in Atlanta. But we saw that coming. Those of us that's down here in Atlanta, we saw that coming. Because that judge is crazy. He been making backroom deals. So, all right. So we'll close it out with Snow. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. But let's close it out with Snow. You ready?
I was having a little trouble trying to find where I should begin tonight's segment. I found it. We're going to talk a little Heisman Trophy. There's 4 very special WNBA players that are on the floor and a big series coming up in Major League Baseball in the American League West. This is Brian Snow, and this is the Villainous Sports News Report. Well, it's time to talk college football for those of you that haven't been paying attention, and we're going to talk a little Heisman Trophy. And we'll start with Quinn Ewers from Texas. The incumbent starting quarterback, because we all know Arch Manning is there awaiting his turn, is one of the favorites for the top award in college football, which has mostly been awarded to quarterbacks. And last year's winner, Jaden Daniels, is now with the Washington Redskins. How will Ewers handle the pressure of not only being one of the top candidates for the top award in college football, but also playing in the Southeast Conference, coming off of an appearance in the college football playoff? As you know, this year, the teams expand, the number of teams expand, I should say, from 4 to 12. So how will that play in Texas's hands? The next fellow we want to look at is a fellow who led, at the time, back-to-back national champions, Carson Beck from the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, the Bulldogs did not win the national championship this past year. Michigan did. And the reason the Bulldogs were denied is because they lost to the Alabama Crimson Tide at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta in December for the SEC championship. You already know Georgia has since reloaded. Carson Beck is the man, and he's going to try to do what Stetson Bennett did twice for the Georgia Bulldogs, and that is bring them to a national championship. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they're going to be without a big piece of their puzzle in Brock Bowers, as Brock Bowers is now a Raider. He's in Las Vegas, but as I said, you know, Kirby Smart is going to reload, and let's see how the Bulldogs approach this reload. But these two have taken a backseat to the person who has suddenly become the favorite for the Heisman Trophy. He started his career at Oklahoma, then played a year at University of Central Florida, and now he's an Oregon Duck. And that man's name is Dillon Gabriel. The fabulous lefty is playing in his third school in as many years. Gabriel has the offensive tools in front of him, and Dan Lanning is going to put nothing but speed around him. But you got to remember what happened to the Oregon Ducks last year. Last year, the Oregon Ducks lost 2 big games. Both of them were to Washington, and those 2 losses cost the Oregon Ducks a spot in the college football playoff. Will the Ducks get back in it? We'll have to find out. But as Dillon Gabriel goes, so do the Oregon Ducks. It'll be fun to see which of these 3 win the Heisman Trophy, or if another contestant will emerge. Will it be Quinn Ewers from Texas? Will it be Carson Beck from Georgia? Or will it be the front runner in Dillon Gabriel from the Oregon Ducks? Switching our attention now to the WNBA, and I want you to take a look at these fabulous players: Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, and Sabrina Ionescu. 4 of the favorites among a lot of fans, myself included, in the WNBA. Of course, the hotly contested races for Rookie of the Year between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. A lot say Caitlin Clark is the Rookie of the Year. A lot more say Angel Reese is the Rookie of the Year. For right now, Angel Reese has the lead because of one very important stat. She became the first rookie in WNBA history with a triple-double, and that came in the comeback win against the New York Liberty, where they were down by as many as 11, and they wound up winning by 5 by a final of 83-78. If she is able to get the Fever into the playoffs, I say she now becomes the front runner for the Rookie of the Year. Aja Wilson is the runaway choice for the most valuable player. The leading scorer in the WNBA and third leading rebounder has the Las Vegas Aces beginning to peak at the right time. But as I mentioned last week, they're facing a month-long break, as they now have the All-Star game to think about next weekend, and they also will have the Olympic break. The 2-week break will take place after the All-Star break, and the Olympics will take place in Paris. Both the men's and the women's team are warming up to defend their gold medals this year in France. But again, take a look at these fabulous 4 athletes right here: Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson, Angel Reese, and Sabrina Ionescu. Could Sabrina Ionescu emerge as a front runner for the most valuable player? She's on one of the top teams in the league, in the New York Liberty, but she was outshot, as I said, by Caitlin Clark when the Indiana Fever in Indianapolis came all the way back and won 83-78 in a recent matchup. Now, let's talk a little baseball, and there is a race that I told you guys to keep your eye on. And the race that I told you to keep your eye on is the American League West. The American League West standings have really tightened up in the past month. Let's go ahead and take a look at the American League standings. First, we'll start in the East as soon as I get everything together here. We'll start in the East as the Baltimore Orioles lead that division by 2 games over the New York Yankees. The Boston Red Sox 10 games over 500. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Tampa Bay has a win in recent times, but the Toronto Blue Jays, who were my personal pick to win the division, is trailing by 14 games heading into All-Star Weekend. The Central belongs to Cleveland right now as they are 22 games above 500. The Chicago White Sox are dragging at the bottom of the barrel. Will they ever get it right again? We don't know. Right now, the Minnesota Twins hold the second wild card spot. The Kansas City Royals trail by a game, and the Detroit Tigers are trying to keep pace in the Central. Well, once upon a time, they led the Central Division. This is the race I want you to keep your eye on, as the Seattle Mariners, once upon a time, led this division by 10 games. It is now down to 2 as the Houston Astros are 7-3 in their last 10 games, including a 3-game sweep of the Miami Marlins, going into this weekend's big showdown against the defending world champion Texas Rangers, who they are 5 games clear of. Rangers are 44-49 coming into this weekend, though they are 7-3 in their last 10, with the 2 teams from California, the Angels and the Athletics, bringing up the rear. The reason I want you to keep an eye on this race is because, as once upon a time, as I said, Seattle led this thing by 10 games, and they were the only team above 500. But lo and behold, here come the Astros aiming to defend their division title. To the National League East, and we look and see who has the best record in baseball. It's the Philadelphia Phillies. They're 9.5 clear of the Atlanta Braves, 13.5 clear of the New York Mets, who just swept the Washington Nationals and sent the Nationals to a 5-game losing streak. Can anybody stop that gas house gang in Philadelphia? We'll find out after the All-Star break. The Central Division belongs to Milwaukee. They're 14 games above 500. Then you got St. Louis, Pittsburgh, the Cubs, and Cincinnati, who are battling for the final spot in the division. The Cubs have won 4 in a row coming into this weekend. Cincinnati has won their last game. And a congratulations to Paul Skeens, the fabulous rookie from the Pittsburgh Pirates, who has been chosen by Torey Lovillo to be the starter in next Tuesday night's All-Star game in Texas. The West Division belongs to the LA Dodgers. They are 7 games ahead of San Diego, 8 ahead of Arizona, and 10 ahead of San Francisco, although Arizona seems to be the only team on a winning streak coming into this weekend and coming into the All-Star break. The team that I picked to win the division, the San Francisco Giants, stand 10 games behind, and you have to wonder, are they going to be buyers or are they going to be sellers at the deadline? The Colorado Rockies, with the second worst record in Major League Baseball, stand at 33-61, 15 games out of the race in the National League West Division. That's taking a look at our divisions. And coming into this weekend, as I mentioned, there is a big series that's taking place in Texas. It's Corey Seager along with against Alex Bregman, Adolis Garcia going up against Yordan Alvarez in the matchup of sluggers, as the Texas Rangers take on the defending division champion, Houston Astros. Got a little time before we get out of here, and I want you to answer this trivia question for me. Who is the only player in Major League history with an All-Star Game Grand Slam? The answer is as follows. It is Fred Lynn. He hit the Grand Slam in 1983 at Comiskey Park in Chicago. Well, that's going to do it for my time on the Villainous Sports News. Hope you all enjoyed it, as I have enjoyed bringing it to you, and I will see y'all next week. So long, everybody.
All right, Snowman with you.
Shout out to Snowman. Go to Snowman Multimedia and subscribe to him if you're not.
Yeah, the brother, he's revamping his content, the way that he handles things. Yeah.
And and I want to talk to you about that in the back channel.
All right.
I'm liking what he's doing. I love what he's doing.
Yeah.
And shout out to Snowman. You're bringing out that good shit.
Yes, he is. So, of course, don't forget to hit his Cash App, which was in the bottom left corner. Bottom left corner. Don't forget to hit him up. So, parting words before we return tomorrow.
These are interesting times. get prepared. The word for the remainder of this year and going forward should be preparedness. You, instead of being preoccupied with a lot of frivolous, nonsensical bullshit, you've seen what happened, the potential that it could have caused, and we all know a lot of us are not prepared as we should be or we would like to be, and I'm talking to myself. So look at this. If they would have, turned this television off, in the words of Hassan, I forgot the dude's name. Funny guy.
Campbell?
Get yourself prepared.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Were you
I'm done.
All right. So tomorrow we'll talk about the possible social ramifications concerning this assassination attempt, because do understand that the very people that you are definitely afraid of or worried about as Black people, they are no longer sitting still. You think they went away, but no, the gophers are coming out of their holes. They're coming out of their holes. All right. They're no longer hiding in the shadows now. And for those of you who like live in apartments or whatnot, if you can afford it, I would suggest you, if you still have like a parent that's alive, you might want to start. I wouldn't necessarily say stalking. If you want to, from, do I still have it? Please tell me I have it. Yes. With NewYorkPrepper.com, he has a supply, My Patriot Supply, on his website. That's nyprepper.com. He has a My Patriot Supply. I wish I would have known about it last year. I would have been buying his stock instead of spending almost $20 a month for 12 cans. Well, $20 a week for 12 cans. And I mean, my biggest issue would have just been water, but I really could have saved some money with his supply, with what's going on as far as what they call army rations, food rations or whatnot. You get a lot for under $200. I think it was $150.
Yeah,
for a good 6-month supply. Yeah, I wish I would have done. I mean, I'm still going to do it. I wish I would have done it earlier. I wish I'd have known about it last year. Save me some space. But outside of that, we'll cover that tomorrow. We'll also cover the social ramifications of this Trump situation as far as what it bodes around election time and after January 1st. And we'll also cover as far as what's going on with the war. I'm pretty sure there are going to be some new developments in the morning, but we will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Same time, same channel. So join us then, or catch us in the morning, or while you're at work, whatever suits your pleasure. All right, this has been Villainous News, signing off.